Hi, Bill Henshaw here, your walking constitution out here in the San Francisco Peninsula. And I just talked about having done the impossible, getting a federal default judgment against an attorney for in a landlord tenant setting, landlord and tenant. And I should have stressed here that that may not fit the facts of your case, but it doesn't matter. It will fit the facts of your situation. And that's because all that these bastards do in the states or the feds or you name it is run an administrative state where they're judge, jury, and executioner. See you later. Have a nice day. Unfortunately for them, the Supreme Court in the last two terms, and now the Circuit Courts of Appeals, the fifth in particular, are coming down full force on the administrative state. And they want to see it fade away as bad as I do, except to the extent that it might be applied to artificial corporate entities of which you're not one. What do they think? You're Chase Bank here, IBM? Doesn't work that way. They owe their citizenship to the 14th Amendment, which doesn't exist. Maybe they're subject to the administrative state. We're not. We have creator endowed inalienable rights for members of the sovereign body politic of the nation and republic. Yet at this moment in time, they're systematically excluded from every department and what I call, I think very accurately, the de facto national socialist government. This is what has to change. We have an unprecedented window of opportunity here with the Supreme Court having acted like a judicial court first time in 90 years. I never thought I would see it happen, but it is, and it's continuing and will continue, particularly if we win the quote unquote election in 2 years. And just so you know, my position is black and white, dead bang proof, as it always is. There hasn't been a presidential election since arguably 1864, and maybe before that. You're going to love to learn all about that. So for serious investors, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, and we'll figure out a way to get together and discuss maybe on a Zoom appearance, what I have, the portfolio, where it's going, and what we can do. And it's great news for you because you can help out not only financially, but help, to get people to understand what they're doing and help the members of your family, your children, and your posterity to stand up and do what it is I've been doing and saying not so fast. Like I did in South Carolina 6 years ago. I stunned them into silence in the first 60 seconds. They never got over it. It's $1 million video if I have it, which they conveniently claim not to have made. But yeah, that was something. I'm manacled there, hand and foot in a red jail suit. They're the ones in trouble with the law, and everybody knew it. That's exactly true now with this default judgment under much more favorable circumstances for us. So let me know if you're a serious uh, investor here, time and money both. Let me know. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. We can go a very, very long way in getting the government back we're supposed to have. And that's why I was put here. And I'm a refugee, by the way, from March the 5th, 1857. You can Google it and see how come I know that. Don't know how I got here. I got to ask Bill Gates and Elon Musk about that one. But I'm mid-19th century. Fortunately for me, I grew up a lot in Virginia and West Bygosh, Virginia, in the mid 20th century, and it wasn't a lot different then. People actually acted a lot like they would have a century ago. And a lot of that rubbed off, and it would have been even better had they taught me anything when I was in school right outside of Washington, D.C. And the education system was better, to be sure, in a lot of areas, but not this one. Washington, D.C., we didn't learn jack shit about anything. I did, better late than never, but I have, and I have just done the impossible here. So you want to check in, serious investors, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, and we can go from there. Thank you.